Hey, my name's James Jesso, and I am just completing my time at IO Awakenings. My experience here has been, to say the least, a bit grueling for myself. It's been extremely challenging. Personally, there was a lot of projection and frustration and sadness and loneliness and crying, and it seemed to, for a good portion of the time, completely disconnect me from the entire reason why I was here, leaving me in what I, in hindsight, could have described as a type of purgatory. Coming to the end of my time here, I recognize how much a vital role that was in pulling these emotions out of me, because leading up to this retreat, I was extremely cynical for a long time because of some negative experiences I had not that long ago. And it really helped tenderize me back and reconnect with a more sensitive, honest expression of myself. The people here have been amazing. Percy has been a very interesting man, the curandero here, wherein at first I found myself actually projecting a lot of blame for my emotions onto him, and over the course of just recognizing my own internal process and seeing how all my blame and fault on everything around me was a projection, I was able to see how much of a vital, beautiful role he was playing in helping me, or at least being the central figure for this whole process of dieting and exploring what ayahuasca has to offer me as a healing modality and as a tool for self-exploration and as a tool for accessing in some way a set of transpersonal and meaningful information gleaned from a personal mythos rendered in a visionary psychedelic experience. Rack, who's holding the camera right now, really appreciated the conversations I've had with him and the guidance that he's offered as the facilitator of the group here. And though for a good chunk of my time here, I was, like I said, not in a great space, I feel really good about what I received, and I would definitely recommend people to come and give this a go. Maybe just be mindful that 10 days completely disconnected from the world outside of you can be really hard, so say all your I love yous and I miss yous in advance before you're off the grid.
What are you going to take back with you into the world that you've learned through your ayahuasca experience?
Well, I guess, there's a lot, and to go into it is extremely long, and anyone that finds interest can follow up on my website. I'll be writing an article about it within the next 2 months. But ultimately, because of the book I chose to read while I was here, which is The Art of Happiness by the Dalai Lama, which I feel in some way both guided me in navigating the emotional processes, but also primed what emotional processes would be aroused in myself. And in that, I feel as I received a sense of remembering the importance of basic human goodness and cultivating compassion and patience for myself and understanding how to recognize suffering as something beautiful in myself as an opportunity to learn and to have, I guess, like I said, compassion for the suffering of others. There was a lot of times where I was in hard places, especially with the ayahuasca, and found myself reflecting on people that I know who have similar things but are much worse off because theirs is their life and not just an ayahuasca experience, and a sense of immediately moving to support, energetically support those people in those things at that time, and recognizing the power I have to not only face my own suffering but to, hold support and breathe in the suffering of others and breathe out love. And that sounds a bit tacky, but yeah, I guess I learned how to be soft with myself again and be okay with that.
We've talked previously that everyone's got their own personal language for what they're going through, whether it's healing or awakening or knowledge. What's your label for what you've experienced?
It's like learning. I feel like this was a very educational experience for me. All of those things, all of those words could awaken a different angle to perceive my experience from, and in that find a new subset of information to then compile into what insights I receive and how I could apply those insights into my life. So, I mean, I think that if I identified too much with healing, I'd identify too much with having been sick, and I don't feel as if I was sick. I recognize in hindsight that there was room to grow, lots to learn, and elements to open, but that doesn't really make me sick. So learning, opening, actually, I don't want to say awakening just because it's but I guess in a way, I'm awakening to the emotional processes operating on the unconscious substrate of my awareness that were unfortunately navigating me into increasingly more cynical and challenging dispositions. Now feeling, to some light, freed of those things by having been tenderized, and through that tenderizing, those things brought to the surface for processing, to use my own terms, for emotive psychosynthesis, insight, and the metabolizing of those things to reintegrate them into my sense of self and my personal empowerment moving forward in life.
James Jesso, thank you for sharing, and in Lakesh, brother.
Thanks, Rack.